Okay, so hello GameScope, my name is James Russell, I'm the lead designer for the Total War series at Creative Assembly, and we're here in Moscow. This is the first time we've come to show a Total War title in Moscow, so it's great to be here. And yeah, we're talking about Rome 2, our next title in the series. Yeah, well, we've been very busy in Moscow. We've just been working at IgroMiре, so we haven't been able to see any of the sites yet. So either later on or next time. Yeah, I mean, it's great to see IgroMiре, growing, and there's a lot. It seems to be, really busy. And what's great is that people seem to be really excited about Rome 2. So we've got I think a really strong following in Russia, and that's why we're here. And it's great to see. Rome 2 is a massive project for us. We are putting everything into it. So the whole team is just working solidly on making Rome 2 the best Total War game ever. It's absolutely huge project for us. As I said, we've got a budget that's much bigger than anything we've done before. We've got a huge game world that's much bigger than the campaign map in Rome, the original Rome. So we've got a huge game world that we're building with an incredible amount of content and variety. So you've got barbarian tribes in the northern forests, you've got exotic kingdoms in eastern deserts. There's a massive amount of content to make, because all of these cultures have different fighting styles, different city environments that we have to make, different tactics, and we have hundreds and hundreds of units in the game. So it's absolutely huge. Yeah, so we're not releasing Rome 2 until late next year, so second half of next year. So we've still got a lot of work to do. So we've been showing some very early code of our Siege of Carthage historical battle, but we've still got a ton of stuff to do. But it does show, I think, what we're trying to achieve with Rome 2. So it shows some of the progress that we've made to really push the graphics forward, to make the game look different, much more compelling even than anything we've done before. So yeah, well, we haven't fixed a specific start date, but what we want to do is get the whole sweep of Roman history from the Middle Republic all the way up to the height of the empire. It's important to get some of those iconic kind of emperors in that people will be familiar with, some of those characters like Julius Caesar, Cleopatra. We really want to get the whole sweep of ancient world history in the game. So it's going to be a big time frame that we're covering in the game. It is an epic strategy game. Well, traditionally we don't want to stop the player playing the game. It's Total War series is all about making your own history. So we start the game at an authentic point in history. We recreate the world very precisely and very accurately at that time, but then the game is all about making your own history. So you choose how to build the Roman Empire if you're playing as Rome. So you write your own history, and yeah, we want you to continue doing that as long as you wish. Yeah, we haven't actually finalized the victory conditions. We're looking at doing some different things, and so yeah, we're still experimenting with that and finding out what makes the game the most fun to play. But we certainly want to have more kind of missions and dilemmas and storylines throughout the game, not in a kind of scripted way, but really triggering depending on how you're playing the game. I mean, we want the player to be immersed in the game world, and we want to bring out some of these human storylines that are part of the real human story of the empire that you are building in the game. Okay, so we're starting the game at a point where the Roman Empire is still pretty small, right? So one of the things I think that we are very keen to do, we've got such an enormous game world that we want to make sure the game is accessible at the beginning, that it's not overwhelming. So Rome will start small, and you choose how you want to build it. It's not just about making the game more accessible to new players, but it's also about making the gameplay, I think, deeper, because you choose yourself how to build up your empire. It's not there for you at the beginning. You have to make it. No, well, we have a game world that's significantly bigger than the campaign map in original Rome. So we've gone going further east. We're going in different directions a little bit, but we haven't revealed exactly what exactly the full extent. But because we've got such a big game world. We want to make sure that it's manageable for players. So we have various ways we're doing that. So, for example, a province system. So we have many regions in the game, but we're grouping them into provinces that might make up 3 or 4 regions, and that helps reduce the management burden. But actually, it increases all the strategic depth, because it means you can conquer territory without capturing a city for every region, because you might only have one city in the province. Yeah, so what we try to do, with every Total War title is push forward on the campaign map. Is we try and push forward all the features of the game. So certainly, the way you develop your cities, some of the options you've got are going to be different and obviously appropriate to the Roman setting. But you're going to see as the cities grow across the campaign map visually. We want to make the look of the campaign map dynamic and beautiful. But everything will get an upgrade. How your economy works, how public order works. It's absolutely fundamental to us to set the game up so that it's a convincing, authentic portrayal of the Roman world. And the Roman world, the economy is different from medieval Japan. There are other, you've got slavery, you've got gladiatorial games. So all of those things we want to have in the game. So yeah, we've got a great variety of different cultures, different fighting styles, different environments in the game. You've got barbarian tribes in the northern forest areas. You've got exotic kingdoms in the eastern desert areas, and we want to make sure that these cultures feel very different, and that there's a lot of replay value. And the game will play differently if you're playing as one of the barbarian tribes, for instance. So we've got different mechanics for how some of the politics works. We have different tech trees for different cultures. So we want to really push that variety. Different types of agents for different cultures. So we want to create a real variety in the experience. And obviously on the battlefield, we've got hundreds and hundreds of units. So the fighting styles, the tactics that you need to use for these different cultures will vary. Rome itself was obviously focused on heavy infantry, but some of the barbarian tribes, very different tactics, and some of the eastern eastern factions would be much more focused on horse archers and that kind of stuff. So you have to use appropriate tactics. We also want to change. All the agents have skill trees, so you can develop them in a kind of RPG-like manner, and we want to make sure that there's some variety there, certainly with different cultures, and that you develop those characters differently depending on the faction that you're playing. Yeah, I mean we have extensive technology trees, extensive building trees. So there's a lot of options, and a lot of variety. I mean, on the campaign map, we want to make the game very, very interesting, even beyond just the warfare that you have to fight. So we have you have to build up your economy. You have to you have to build and defend trade routes. You have to conduct diplomacy and build up your culture. So there's a lot of interesting things that you can do in the game. So we really want to improve the diplomacy system. Part of the goal is to make it feel more human, right? So we want when you're negotiating with an AI for a diplomatic deal, we really want to bring out the fact that you're negotiating with a real person, and so we want to make sure that you have more feedback about what the AI's motivations are, because we think that really helps you understand why the AI is behaving in a certain way. So for instance, your ally might stab you in the back, but you can understand. We want you to understand that that's because they've sensed weakness, right? They've seen you move, or they don't trust you. They think that you're an unreliable ally, so they're gonna come and stab you in the back. it's not just about diplomacy. I mean, we want really interesting political dilemmas for the player. It's about bringing. We want to really thread these human-level storylines into the game. So we want the player to be, concerned with, this senator whose, son maybe is spreading rumors about you. What are you going to do about it? And so these dilemmas will be triggered depending on how you're playing the game. And we think it's a really important part of, making your empire feel like it's populated with real people with their own stories and their own agendas. So we want the player to be thinking, do I need to save the Republic, or do I need to try to become emperor? And we want to have those themes of betrayal and political intrigue in the game. Rome is full of historical events and different things that can happen. But the key thing for us is that it's not just on a storyline on rails. Different events will happen triggered by how you're playing the game. That's the key thing. This is a game world, a rich, populated game world that responds to what you're doing. Yeah, we're determined to make to improve the battle AI, absolutely, and make it really provide a compelling challenge for the most hardcore player if they want that. So we've got more programmers and designers working on AI than we've had before. We want to make sure that the AI uses the kind of tactical advantages that it has. So it uses the right units at the right time, doing the right thing. And we want to have personality. We want different kind of tactics for different kinds of factions and for different kinds of different cultures. Obviously, it's you have to use the units in the right way. You have to make sure that you keep your cavalry away from frontal charges against spearmen. You want to use your cavalry to flank the enemy and try and go behind the enemy units and pin down enemy units so that you can attack them with other soldiers. The tactics that you use depend on the units that you've got. So the Romans are much more focused on really heavy infantry, but still mobile heavy infantry, whereas so the Greek phalanx is very powerful from the front, but much less maneuverable than the Roman legions. And of course, some of the Eastern kingdoms were obviously much more focused on horse archers, mobile combat, and harassing, slow-moving heavy infantry. So there's a lot of different styles, a lot of different tactical, a lot of different tactical options in the game. A big new feature for Rome is having combined battles. So that means armies and navies on the same battlefield, and that means armies can actually come off ships and disembark and fight on land inside one battlefield. And it also means that ships can bombard cities and bombard armies on the battlefield, and it's really about creating a really epic scope in the battlefield, and really having breathtaking scenes and interesting gameplay, because you've got to worry about do you defend the beach, do you pull back and try and defend the city walls, and naval combat's moving forward as well, absolutely, because we have, for instance, multiple ships in each naval unit, and that really adds to the sense of scale. But on the battlefield, we're also wanting to really make the men feel more human, close up. So we want the combat to feel more brutal, more visceral, and we want the men to feel like they're real humans. They respond to what's going on the battlefield. We've got facial animation, so the officers shouting orders constantly. It's all part of creating this, a darker vision of war, but also a more real sense that these are individual men fighting for you. Yeah, so we've got huge city environments, much bigger than anything we've had before, and we've got multiple capture points in the big cities. So previously we've only ever had a single core plaza that you have to capture, and having multiple capture points really makes the gameplay much more dynamic inside the city streets, because you have multiple positions to defend if you're the defender, and multiple positions to attack if you're the attacker, and that means that you can't just rest in one place. You have lots of more to and fro, cat and mouse gameplay inside the city streets. It's not all about making one breach in the walls and charging through. We want to have a rich layer of political intrigue and themes of betrayal and rivalry in the game. So You know, you have different challenges. If you're playing, you know, as the leader of Rome, you've got to watch out for perhaps a very ambitious general who might not be as loyal as he might seem. Perhaps he'll decide he should become emperor and march on Rome. And you know, we want the player to be thinking things like, do I save the Republic, or do I try to become emperor myself? Do I change do I want to change from the Republic to the imperial era? And of course, we want you to be worrying about, you know, what does this senator think of you? What does that senator think of you? But I think we're really wanting to do that on a human level. It's about individual characters, and you know, that's a big part of making the game world, I think, more immersive. We're putting you know, a lot more effort into creating, you know, deeper skill trees for generals and other characters, and there's going to be a huge variety of that depending on the culture that you're playing as. But obviously, you know, the units will have new special abilities that are related to the, you know, Roman era. Generals remain very important on the battlefield. Absolutely critical how you use your generals and how you develop your generals, and you need to do that. You know, you need to do that in a way that fits the style with which you play. Yeah, so you know, we have a skill tree for our characters. So you know, you can develop your generals. They gain experience based on how you've been fighting with them, and you can choose how you want them to develop as characters. And some of those skills that you can unlock means that they have new special abilities. We're really wanting to take this series to another level graphically for Rome 2. You know, we've got a new lighting system, new particle systems, new sound engine. We want the game to look and sound absolutely incredible. I mean, our goal is to deliver some of the most spectacular sights you've ever seen in a computer game, and we're doing that by creating breathtaking, epic scale battles in huge environments. But also, you combine that with, when you zoom in, you've got this exquisite detail. We're rendering soldiers at an incredible level of detail, and we're trying to make them feel as human as possible. You know, with a really kind of brutal, impactful animations that really make them feel alive, and facial animations as well. So they're barking orders, reacting to what's going on, and we feel that, you know, we feel that we are taking the series to the next level, absolutely, in terms of how it looks and how it plays. Yeah, we're not really ready to talk about what we're doing for multiplayer. All we're saying is we've got very big plans for what we're doing. We're making more music than we ever have for any other Total War game, and we've got our composer Richard Bello, who's made the music for Napoleon, award-winning score. We really want to you know, create an authentic sound, and we want to have a different musical feel for different cultures. So you know, if you're playing as one of the barbarian tribes versus if you're playing as Rome or one of the Eastern factions, you know, we want to create a different musical atmosphere that really immerses you in that culture that you're playing. Yeah, well, you know, to recreate the ancient world, it does take a massive amount of historical research. So the team, we all immerse ourselves in lots of different content as much as we can, but we have to do some pretty strange things. You know, we have to find out about some of the ways the Carthaginian Senate worked. We have to find out about, you know, who was ruling in some very obscure part of the world. Not because we have to recreate the entire ancient world, not just Rome. So you know, it's certainly a lot of research, and we have, you know, the whole team, as I said, immerses themselves in the era, in the period. But we have, you know, designers that have to read all these obscure books and find out everything they possibly can. So it's a massive amount of work. Wow. I don't know what to say to that. Three things I associate with Russia. Wow. Where do we start?
Incredible architecture.
Yeah.
Really good nightclubs.
Yeah.
And traffic.
Okay, so yeah, three things I associate with Russia. Okay, St. Basil's Cathedral and, you know, Red Square. Yeah, crazy nightclubs and snow. So Total War Rome 2 is an epic empire building strategy game with massed battles that you play in real time on an epic scale, and it's PC exclusive, and we're releasing second half of next year, 2013, and we hope you enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.